The Osage leased their land for oil drilling and received royalties called head rights. On paper, they were protected by appointed guardians. In truth, those guardians controlled everything, labeling people incompetent, forging papers, arranging marriages for access to oil income. It was a system built not on protection, but on exploitation. Violence followed. Murders disguised as accidents. Deaths written off as natural causes. Greed tied hands with racism. And the same officials meant to protect the Osage were the ones profiting from their deaths. For centuries, Native nations faced wars, raids, and massacres. Sand Creek, Wounded Knee. The word savage justified killing women and children, while the conquerors preached freedom and civilization. It was the same pattern, different names, different victims. Forced entire nations to march west. Thousands walked hundreds of miles, hungry, freezing, dying on the road. The land behind them sold, the graves beside them unmarked. History called it the Trail of Tears, a name too gentle for what it really was, a death march in the name of progress. And defined entire nations. When the herds were wiped out, their world collapsed. With the animals went the food, the trade, and the freedom. What replaced it? Government rations, hunger, and dependence. The destruction wasn't an accident, it was strategy. Starve the people, and you control them. Had a new mission: assimilation. Children were taken from their homes and sent to boarding schools. Their hair was cut, their language banned, their names replaced with English ones. The slogan was clear: kill the Indian, save the man. It wasn't education, it was erasure. Beatings, isolation, shame. Children were forced to confess in a language they barely knew. Their culture was treated as a disease to be cured. Many grew up afraid to speak, afraid to remember, and the silence they carried lasted for generations. Changed shape, but not direction. Thousands of Native children were taken from their families and placed with white adoptive parents. For their own good, the papers said. They lost their names, their languages, their songs. They grew up strangers to their own blood. For many, the hardest journey was not across land, but back to who they were. Under the banner of public health, doctors persuaded Native women to sign consent forms they couldn't read. They were sterilized, often without knowing it. This was not medicine. It was control, disguised as care. The system called it compassion. History calls it what it was: abuse. Governments issued apologies. Commissions wrote reports. Checks were signed. But money cannot heal a wound carved into generations. What matters more is recognition. The courage to name what was done and to listen to those who still carry the pain. Only then can a nation begin to understand the cost of its silence. Beside the living. Along a lonely highway in Canada, hundreds of Indigenous women and girls have gone missing. Their faces still appear on telephone poles and roadside crosses. Families keep searching, lighting candles in the rain, demanding answers. It's called the Highway of Tears, and its echo reaches far beyond one road. Formers and oppressors often spoke the same language: civilization, protection, progress. But under those words were prisons, punishments, and policies of control. It's a reminder: even good intentions can be twisted when one culture believes it knows better than another.
Tribes are reclaiming land, language, and identity. Elders teach children to speak words that were once forbidden. Songs return to the fire circle. Artists, teachers, and filmmakers rebuild what was nearly lost. Memory is not a museum. It's a living act of resistance. Every story told keeps the language alive. Every name spoken is a victory.
But you can tell it truthfully. You can honor those who endured. You can protect those who remain. If these stories move you, support Indigenous communities. Share their voices. Learn their history. Because remembering is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of responsibility. To remember is to act.
The court assigns you a guardian, and soon your wealth is gone. Absurd? For the Osage Nation in early 1900s Oklahoma, it was reality. Oil made them wealthy, but the system made them powerless. And this is only one chapter in a much longer story of how America stripped its indigenous peoples of money, land, culture, and even their children.